Hi, this is Terry. Welcome back to my channel. It seems that 2021 is a year of transition for a lot of people. 2020 had us really hit upside the head with the COVID and the pandemic and all sorts of different changes. And I think there was a lot of analysis and was like, what's working, what's not working, and then kind of taking a step back as we moved into 2021. And I see a lot of people talking about 2021 being a time of change, and which is always a little bit uncomfortable. I talk about this in my book, Piloting Your Life.
Plug.
Well, and I had to remind myself, I actually had to open it up and take a look at it because there's a lot of things going on in my life. There's a lot of opportunity for change in this year of transition. And as my friend Werner said, 2022, look out world, it will be Terri Unleashed. And it's going to be really interesting, but it's also really scary and it's really uncomfortable to go through transitions and deal with a fair amount of change. It's easy to hold on to what is comfortable, especially in midlife. And that's what when I did a bunch of research and talked to a bunch of women about the midlife transition, which starts at about 40. Midlife is 40 to 65. But in your 40s and your 50s, you really go through this transitional period where a lot of the, society's set milestones end up being behind us. And if you have children, your children are getting older and moving on. I mean, for me, my son Adam is off at college, and Finn will be graduating from high school in December.
And I'm looking at colleges now.
Yay! And
yeah.
So then, then we don't know what's going to happen spring next year, but then, going off to college in the fall. And that's going to be another time of transition, but I'm trying to do the work now to really prepare for that and define what it is that I want out of, let's say, I don't want to say the next 50 years of my life, but at least the next 5 or 10. And as I talk about in my book, that uncharted territory can be really, really scary because it's wide open. And if you're like me, who's been raised as a people pleaser, even someone as really direct and strong and empowered as I am, oftentimes I have a difficult time saying, this is what I want. I don't know where the limiting factor, the limiting beliefs came from. I should probably end up doing some work on that. But it's like really being intentional and thinking about what it is that I want so that I can start putting that out into the world and I can start moving forward. I won't have it all figured out, but it's all about and I talk about this often, the path presenting itself. So I was taking a look at the book and I found like a section that was to remind me of, as I'm thinking through, this transitional period. I'll be turning 51 in April. Yes, you are worth it. You are deserving. You get to create your own definition of happiness, success, and fulfillment. You get to choose you. And I know for a lot of us in midlife, especially as women, that is actually a really challenging thing. But I think it's definitely worth it when we realize we have one life to live. And so then I went and read, and I was just like, I need to reread my own book, actually. And taking a look at this, even though it's been out for, a year and a half now, you would think that I would remember all of this, but no, I don't. So the other thing in doing the work during a transitional period, this actually is from Christiane Northrup, The Wisdom of Menopause. We must be willing to take full responsibility for the problems in our lives, and then we must be willing to feel the pain of loss and grieve for the parts of our lives that we are leaving behind. And I think that's super powerful when we are in a time of transition, is being able to acknowledge what has come before, take responsibility for things that we might not have done so great with, and then figure out ways to clean that up and fix it. And that's really what I'm working on in 2021, so that 2022 is, as I said, Terri Unleashed. I went on to say midlife is about owning our shit, letting go of unnecessary and unhelpful shit, and then choosing what we want. It almost becomes a mantra. I deserve this, I am worthy, I want this, and I give myself permission to want what I want. So I'm definitely going to be revisiting that, throughout the course of the year. The other thing is, I think I'm going to do a series of these things as I reread my book and share out some of the relearnings based on what I've already learned in the context of what's going on in my life and the world right now. And if you are going through a time of transition, I hope you are taking care of yourself and you are doing it intentionally and thoughtfully, and just being just really kind and gentle. Transitions are hard. Change is hard. So I hope that you are taking care of yourself. So I'd love to know if you are going through a transition or going through some significant change. How's it going? What is it that you're doing to take care of yourself? You know, just generally, how's it going? And with that, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I just looked at some of the monetization numbers and I need to get to 1,000 subscribers. So I think we will be working on that over the course of this year. And with that, let go of perfection, take some risks, and above all else, have some fun.